We are at Green Country Off-Road in Claremore, Oklahoma. Man, it's good to see you. It's been for freaking ever.
I know, right? I'm telling you.
And yeah, today is day one of Jeepster McJeepFace Sema prep. You know, the Jeep has been through 3 years of consistent beatdown, so to say, and we have about 20 days to tear this whole thing apart, clean it up, prep it for paint, paint it, powder coat it, and then put it all back together. And in the meantime, there are a few improvements that we want to make as well, obviously. Super pumped here to be back where it all began, at Green Country Off-Road. So yeah, stay tuned guys, follow along, and I'll see you later.
I'm a true champion.
I guess it's time to take my soft top out of the Jeep too. Good old shrink grab.
Maybe this thing just stays on there, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's 6:50 right now, so we had about, let's say, minus lunch, solid 5 hours of work today, maybe. And the entire interior is stripped already. The rear shocks are being taken out. Seats are out, high lift is out, speakers, crawl tune speakers are out. Light bar is disconnected. S-pod is out. The panels from my dashboard are out. Taking the taillights out right now. I thought this was pretty cool, so I wanted to show you guys, because otherwise, you know, you usually never see it until you take it apart. So see what we did to the taillights in order to make them fit with this comb cut that, you know, because the fender is go back so far, we had to cut in the original fender quite a bit, and that stole the mounting location for the taillights. So we came up with this solution. We made these little recessed metal plates where we put the taillights in and then mounted those on the tub. Making good progress, I guess. I would say tomorrow this thing is in pieces. Let's hope. If we don't run into any complications, that should be the case.
We can lift this windshield out now too.
Do you know, have you figured out how?
Yeah.
Where are the bolts for it?
It's
Yeah, it just
a little wing that comes down and it's bolted in the side of it.
in the side of the tub? Alrighty. Should I run trail to Sema with no windshield? But I do like the look of it. It's kind of neat.
Good goggles.
Yeah. The forklift doesn't reach all the way into the cage, so we don't want to risk anything, so we're going to drive it out, come from the side, and then lift it out.
Keep on coming. That ought to work right there.
Where?
Yeah, right there. Now then, if these things will go underneath there, Marvin can just stay in there.
No, better not.
Oh, okay.
That's some redneck shit right here. You like my convertible? Look at that hot rod.
We should go like that.
Just cruise around town.
set the windshield back in the seat.
No, just like that.
I could do this all night, 'cause I do what I like. Yeah, I do what I like. Yeah, I do what I like, 'cause I know I'm the show.
Blank. Doesn't look as bad as I thought it would. Just a little muddy. You can see, man, we had to do so much work to this thing to make all this fit back in the days. Man, the first guy that built this, or that started to build it from this Jeep, which wasn't Green Country, was another shop in Atlanta. And yeah, back then we had a little bit of a different vision for this Jeep of how the fender design is going to turn out. So he cut it all apart in all of its little pieces. So as you can see, we had to weld all this back together in order to even get this shape and clear the big tires, and then mounted the fender armor all above it. Alright, I'm gonna call it a night. I think this was pretty good for day one. Good morning, Green Country Off-Road. Today's day 2. We're gonna continue to take the Jeepster apart and getting it ready so we can start prepping it for paint and for powder coating. We're making progress. Alright, so why do we cut a big hole in our doors? Well, because A, it's always covered by a big armor plate anyways, and you know, weight reduction. No, but problem is that these nut inserts here that you see here, they spin. Unfortunately, we can't get them back out, so all the screws from the other side, which I can show you here, all these little bolts don't come out anymore. They're just all free spin. So because of that, we decided in order to avoid that we're gonna mess with it for hours and hours, we're just gonna cut it open from this side, since one of these big armor plates is going on top of it anyways. So you know, why the hassle? So now we can reach everything, hold the inserts, press them tight again with one of these here. Yeah, we're gonna use that tool basically to repress all of them in order to, yeah, avoid this next time. I'm gonna move a little bit inward, out this way. Yeah, a little bit this way. Yeah. Get up here. Good enough. Perfect. All right, so we're making tiny little improvements as we go, and here I can show you guys really quick. Whenever the Jeep flexes out, the chassis obviously moves and the grill rubs on the fender and scrapes the paint off. Not a big deal, but you know, Rocky just made the, you know, little L-shaped piece of metal. We're obviously going to cut it down, connect the grill and the fender on this corner, and that should solve the problem in the future.
No more scrapey.
No more scrapey.
Or yellow primer.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we used yellow primer the first time around, and we learned that the hard way, that that's not what you should do.
It's not a good idea.
All right, so front fenders are off. The little support brackets that Rocky built are mounted and are ready to go to paint as well. So yeah, there she is, all weird looking. All right guys, so here we are, day 3 of Jeepster McJeepFace SEMA prep. Today we're going to start taking things to the powder coater. The new KC light bar should arrive, I think, tomorrow. So we're going to use some AJK off-road clamps to mount the rear chase light that KC is sending to the back part of the cage. And we cut off the original brackets that I had on my cage for my Pro 6 KC light bar. And now we're gonna make a mount for the windshield. Pretty pumped. You know, you see a whole bunch of parts back there that are all getting either painted or powder coated. Jeepster has gutted and, you know, basically just a body now. Couple wires still that we need to pull, and then we're good on that too. There used to be my light bar bracket for my Pro 6 light bar. So we shaved that off and cleaned it. There's my old Pro 6. So now what we're gonna do is here on this side we're gonna, you know, bend a piece of metal with a 90, something that shapes around this part of the windshield, and then have the mounting bolts basically level with the top of the windshield frame. So the light's basically gonna hang right here. I think that's gonna look A, really good, B, I'm not gonna crash my light bar against every tree branch I drive under. Lots of stuff to do still. And off we go to powder coating. Cage is loaded up. We're gonna load up the rock sliders and a couple of little pieces. And that's gonna be it. All that's gonna go to powder coat while we prepping for paint. And then the powder coated parts also get a layer of paint in certain parts, like the golden piece that's on the B pillar of my cage needs to be painted gold again. All right, so we're trying to get these Fox bump stops out of the bump stop cans, and they're kind of like corroded, whatever, like gunked in there. They just won't come out. So we put chisels in it, we poured Coke over it and WD-40, let it sink in, and that seemed to do the magic trick. We got one out already, right here. The good mix of Coca-Cola, WD-40, and chisels. Let's just hope that does the trick on this one here as well, so we'll see. Victory! Alright, so if you ever have trouble getting these things out, Coca-Cola, WD-40, chisels, and a hammer. This was crazy. The top is off the Jeep. All this with no lift, just with a forklift and a bunch of straps. We forgot a couple of wires, to say the least. But we got it all. So yeah, here's Jeepster with no body. It's dark outside. It's like midnight or something. Yeah, he is now just Jeepster naked. Body is dangling out here on the forklift, and yeah, that just seems sketchy. It's not at all. It's oh man,
You just gotta do what you gotta do.
you gotta do what you gotta do. We know how to help ourselves, so
Even if you don't want to.
yeah. And you know, most people think that this is some crazy super high-end whatever build, man. Like this is like what you see here is how we built this Jeep. Literally.
And Jake's, you know.
And Jay, what you say to that, bud, huh?
He says, oh my gosh.
Little buddy?
What do you think? Yeah? Is that right? You think it's gonna work?
Are you tired of shit?
He's a
Man.
little tired. He's a little tired. We all are.
We all are.
And we
This
ain't
is
got-
day 3.
We haven't even got started.
This is day 3, man. All right, so now that the frame that's behind me is all cleaned up, we literally cleaned everything. Transmission, skid plates, everything underneath the frame, all the weird little corners that you usually can't get to. Now, we're doing the same thing to the tub. Guys, you have no idea how happy this makes me. Being able to wash this thing and clean this thing from every angle, everywhere, really have it, you know, perfectly clean, like, makes me happy. I love it. I absolutely love it. We're done disassembling, and then from tomorrow on, we're gonna be starting to prep this thing for paint. Maybe work a little bit on a few little details that I wanted to do. For example, I want to get a better engine skid plate under this thing. It has quite some bangs in it, so we're gonna probably be redoing that and a few little other changes, but nothing major. That is it for tonight. I'm really pumped. Again, I'm super excited. Something like this makes my German heart go crazy. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and yeah, give me some feedback in the comments.